The International School of Portland is celebrating its 35th birthday this year. It's one of only 2 schools in the entire United States that has 3 full language immersion programs under one roof, teaching in Chinese, Japanese, and Spanish. It's also the first school in the Pacific Northwest to offer the renowned International Baccalaureate Primary Years program. They're now enrolling students from preschool to 5th grade for fall of 2026. Sign up for a personal tour at intlschool.org.
Diamore Law Group believes personal injury is about public safety, not just a settlement check. Led by veteran trial attorney Tom Diamore, with over 30 years of experience holding negligent drivers, corporations, and unsafe institutions accountable across Oregon. And clients pay nothing unless they win. If you or someone you love has been seriously injured, call 503-222-6333 or visit diamorelaw.com to schedule a free consultation.
This is CityCast Portland. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Today on CityCast Portland, we're talking about a new city e-bike rebate you might qualify for, why almost all of our sports teams are against a city ordinance to raise the wages of Uber and Lyft drivers, and we're also diving into our mailbag. Joining me are Willamette Week reporter Brianna Wheeler and our very own senior producer Rachel Monahan. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys.
So glad to be here.
Good morning.
Good morning. As most of our listeners know, before we jump into the news, I usually ask an opening question so any new listeners can get to know our guests a little better. And today's opening question is inspired by the Trader Joe's in the Reed neighborhood reopening this week after closing for a month after they decontaminated it for asbestos. This asbestos was found during a renovation project, so it wasn't just like hanging out, just there forever. They found it while they were digging, but it should be asbestos free now. And my question to you is, what's your favorite Trader Joe's item? Because I know we all have one.
Oh, I do. I have one.
Okay, what is that?
It used to be the little tiny chocolate chip cookies. Those are my jam until I learned about the chocolate chip biscottis, which are just big ass chocolate chip cookies dipped in chocolate. Thank me later.
Okay. What about you, Rachel?
I sort of have 2. One's a household favorite, which is their strawberry vanilla yogurt. Very good.
Okay.
And I love an Indian masala sauce they have. It's just really good. Makes an easy dinner. Love that Trader Joe's is super budget friendly. Yeah.
Nice. There's whole hacks and all that about how to save money and time doing Trader Joe dinners. And I kind of love that part of TikTok. And even though I don't really have a Trader Joe's near me, I'm just like, one day I'm going to do all of these recipes for sure.
Yeah, I do find that I have to travel across town, or my Trader Joe's visits are occasional.
I know. It's such a bummer because so many other type of box stores or whatever seem to pop up everywhere, but not the ones I want, like Trader Joe's. I would love a Trader Joe's in St. John's. Okay. My favorite item, I feel like I'm going to turn everybody onto this if you haven't tried it. Trail mix crackers. It has mung beans, sesame seeds, raisins, pumpkin seeds, and cashews. I'm looking at your face, Brianna, and you're like, ugh. No, It's sweet,
telling a story.
Savory, crunchy. It's legit a drug. I can eat a whole bag in one sitting if I'm not careful. And they taste amazing. And I mean amazing with cheese and wine. I swear to you, Brianna, they're not as healthy as they look. They're so good.
Brianna grimaced, but I had that thought.
Please catch the spiritual side of it.
No, you're good.
Claudia, have you done drugs, though? Have you done drugs?
Oh my God, it's all coming out what a nerd I was. I'm like, it's like drugs. And you're like, girl, there's mung beans in there. It's like fiber. It's fiber, okay? No, I swear, you guys, I swear. If I've said anything on the show that you're like, yeah, she might have a point, try the trail mix crackers. They're so good. All right. On to the news of the week. Brianna, what's up with these e-bike rebates? Should we all pitch in for a CityCast Portland e-bike?
Oh my gosh. I wish you would. I would love to go on e-bike rides with everybody. I have an e-bike. I cannot endorse these bikes enough. They're wonderful.
Oh, awesome.
I want to tell you about the e-bike rebates, but I also want to tell you about what is happening with these gas prices. Oh my gosh, because we are going to justify the e-bike rebates with these gas prices. So clock this. Becca Yanez over at Coin, she reports Oregon gas pumps reach $5 average as national prices soar. Ouch! All right, so national average price for gas, $4.14. Oh my God, I felt that all through all of my chakras. Okay, but according to the AAA, the price of regular gas in Oregon is now cresting $5. That's an 85-cent jump from the national average. What is happening here? Last year, Oregon's regular gas price was $4. That shit was too expensive.
Yeah.
Why? What is factoring into these gas prices? Okay, so we know it's the cost of crude oil. 20% is refiners who turn it into gas. The crude oil prices have jumped because of the Strait of Hormuz, and we've got, oh my gosh, because our president keeps threatening to wipe civilizations off the earth. Yeah? Does that have something to do with the gas prices? All of this to say that after taxes, there's about 10% left for the retailers, and they still have their own businesses to run. So just a bit of grace when we're talking about them, because they've maintained like an average 40-cent markup over the last 5 years. And think about the numbers that I just said. Like, okay, and God forbid you need diesel. My God, you could be paying $6.25, which is $3 more.
It's crazy because diesel, I always thought used to be cheaper. Like that was the whole point, but now it's all topsy-turvy, man.
Right? Can you imagine being a trucker right now?
Ugh, oh my God.
Unfucking real. Which brings us to Portland e-bike rebates for qualified residents. Pew, 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 pew. Reported by Monica Samoya over at OPB. Let's just love on this story. Portland Clean Energy Fund, I love you. On Monday, launching the e-bike rebate program. We are helping low-income Portlanders purchase either a standard, a cargo, or, oh my God, I love this part so much, an adaptive e-bike. They're offering rebates to all qualified residents. It's a first-of-its-kind climate justice program. Let's go, Portland! It's going to invest $20 million throughout the summer of 2029. Ideally distributing 6,000 rebates during that time frame. We are transitioning out of fossil fuel powered vehicles. People, let's do this. These gas prices, there's no other options, right? Electric cars, e-bikes, electric transportation. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
The transportation sector, that's 40% of this county's greenhouse gas emissions. That's almost half. If this rebate program is successful, not only will we all be riding bikes together so beautifully and cutely and amazingly, we're going to remove 4,000 vehicles worth of carbon emissions from our air, right? Come on, let's do this. Let's do this, Portland. The program starts accepting applications on the 20th, and you just need to go to portlandbikerebate.com to start the process. And just going to leave you on this. Yeah, you get a bike. Amazing. But if you can get a cargo bike, you could start a whole goddamn business with a cargo bike. Start making soups and then delivering soups to people in your neighborhood on your cargo bike. Your options are limitless. Like, you could really take this and fly with it if you wanted to.
I was remembering when Brianna was talking, I had an e-bike for a while, and I remember like letting people ride it who'd never been on an e-bike before. They're just so fun. You know, like if you're somebody who has a bike and you get on and you're like, wow, I can go this fast pedaling not that much. And I love that about electric vehicles. They're fun. They accelerate like mad. So I love that fighting off the apocalypse actually just involves some fun.
Thank you.
You see my train of logic there, like, you know, the issue in the Middle East becomes a little less if we're not getting our power from oil in that neck of the woods. So, yeah, I love it.
That's how we do it in Portland. We'd be protesting in frog costumes and we'll be fighting oil prices on bikes. We're keeping it weird. You got to love it.
Brianna, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about who's eligible for this e-bike rebate.
I'm curious because it was like, what, 60%, below 60% of the median income in Portland? Is that what it was?
Right. Yes, 60%.
So what is that? I mean, I know it depends on like how big your household is, but I'm curious for like a single person what that is.
I think it's $52,000.
So if you make $52,000 or below, you're able to get this rebate, right?
Correct. There's a separate rebate worth $300 for just like the accessories that you'll use. Helmets.
I love
locks.
that feature.
That's cool. I mean, the whole thing about PSEF, is that it's supposed to go for those who would be impacted the most by climate change. So BIPOC communities, people, from lower income households. So it makes sense that you have to have, you have to restrict all that. But it's just, as someone who doesn't qualify, I'm a little jealous. I just kind of, I'm like, oh, cool, have fun on your e-bike. Because I know the whole thought is like, well, you can afford it. But I'm like, girl, can I? I'm like, come on. We all know how that works. Yeah, I can afford it, sure.
You can ride mine.
I did wonder if it was enough money to get people going. I love that they're including supplies because that can be expensive to
Yeah, you got to get a dome cover, you got to... You got to get lights. I mean, all that stuff adds up.
You got to turn the e-bike into the Pope Mobile. You have to get in there. Fuck a car. You got to Pope Mobile the bike.
Yeah,
and then
plus,
you're straight.
Exactly. And then you got to get a lock for it, like a good one,
Oh, yeah.
And locks are expensive.
That probably eats up that. Yeah. That's where you really need that budget. And if you're going to actually ride it in Portland weather, I mean, we're going into the pleasant summer season, but you need a lot of gear to be able to go out in winter. It's true. On a bike, so.
Yeah, well, it's cool. I'm so glad that I feel like we don't hear of the good stuff PSEF is doing, and I feel like there should be more marketing and reporting done, because all we're hearing is how they're taking money away from PSEF, and using it on things that you're like, I guess that's climate change. I don't know. But so this is awesome. This is what the fund was intended to do. So great. Yeah. Before we go into break, I just quickly wanted to share that today is Local News Day. It's a national day of action to reconnect communities with trusted local journalism. I didn't even know that was such a day. Like, I remember when Donut Day came out, and I was like, come on, guys. We do have a lot of days. But this day I can stand behind. I think this is a cool national day. If you're a regular listener, CityCast Portland is here to share the daily conversations about what's happening in our neighborhoods, our schools, our local government, all the things that influence decisions that actually shape our daily lives. But we know that it takes support from people like you who care about this stuff, the stuff that we're talking about, to make this show happen every day. So in the spirit of Local News Day, we're hoping, if you have the means, if you're not qualifying for this e-bike rebate, that you consider becoming a CityCast Portland neighbor. It's only the cost of a couple cheap lattes without a tip a month. I did that breakdown, so you don't have to. And with that, you get ad-free listening, you get invites to cool member-only events, you can shout out places that you love. You can join at membership.citycast.fm/Portland. That's membership.citycast.fm/Portland. All the details are there. And even if you can't support us today, just have a happy Local News Day. Thank you, Brianna, for your service. Thank you for all the local news that I can get you a latte. I'll Venmo you a latte.
No tip.
No tip, though. Well, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, why the Blazers, the Timbers, Travel Portland, and many more are against boosting Uber and Lyft drivers' wages. Looking for something fun and free to do with the kids? On Friday, April 17th and Saturday, April 18th, YMCA is celebrating Healthy Kids Day. It's happening at locations all across the Portland Metro and Southwest Washington. It's a national YMCA event that helps families stay active, healthy, and connected with creative projects, outdoor games, and even family swim at select sites. Again, Healthy Kids Day is totally free, and you can find your closest event and full schedule at ymcacw.org/HKD-FM. That's ymca.org/HKD-FM.
Spring home buying season is back in Portland. That home you're in love with, the Portland bungalow with room for garden beds in the backyard and easy access to the Max line, it's fetching multiple offers. If you are in the market anywhere in the Portland metro area and feel like your offers aren't getting accepted, talk to James Adair at Neo Home Loans powered by Better. James has spent more than 20 years helping Portland families get their offers accepted. And he's put together a list of 12 specific ways to improve your offer. He calls it the unfair buyer advantage. You don't need more offers. You need one that wins. Download his free playbook at unfairbuyeradvantage.com. That's unfairbuyeradvantage.com. James Adair, NMLS 272766 with Better Mortgage Corporation. NMLS 330511, an equal housing lender.
All right, guys. So 2 city councilors, Steve Novak and Alana Purtle-Guinea, have championed a proposal they say will raise Lyft and Uber drivers' take-home pay by restricting how much the companies take from the cost of each ride. So that's their thinking. This is going to raise the drivers' overall pay since they claim many drivers barely make minimum wage once you take the hidden costs into consideration like gas, car use and maintenance, and just overall time spent driving around. Novak has said research shows Uber drivers make on average $12 an hour. Lyft disputed that figure, saying its drivers make closer to $38 an hour. Now, are these numbers possibly cherry-picked to show the lowest and highest end of the scale? Possibly. I don't know. But we can't deny that many Lyft and Uber drivers are getting screwed in this exchange and that those companies do make a buttload of money off their labor. And the people who benefit from all this is us, the consumer, capitalism. Now, Seattle has already passed a similar fair pay city ordinance for their rideshare drivers, though theirs went like way deeper. Drivers in Seattle receive guaranteed minimum pay for trips starting in Seattle, and they also have cost of living increases and paid sick time off. The Washington Department of Labor and Industries also now enforces these rules. So we don't know the details of what our 2 city councilors are proposing. We don't know if it's going to go that deep or not. They just want Uber and Lyft to give their drivers a bigger share of the ride cost, but it still might be helpful to see how things shook out in Seattle.
Right.
Here's what I found. The companies, Uber and Lyft, raised rates by an average of 40%, but as high as 50 to 60%, depending on the time of day and destination. So Seattle is now the most expensive city to book a rideshare trip. A 20-minute ride can cost close to $60 if you take
Fuck off.
Yeah. So rideshare usage, of course, drops significantly in the city because of this. So now many of the rideshare drivers are protesting the change. They would rather have it how it was before because they were making money, more money overall. Again, what Seattle did is not what these counselors are proposing, but we also don't know the full details of what they're proposing. They're just saying share more, but it's like, do you think Uber and Lyft is going to lose a few bucks every ride? No, they're going to raise the rates to make up for that, And because we have this Seattle data available to us, Metro Chamber joined forces with a coalition called We Play for Portland, which includes the Portland Trailblazers, the Portland Timbers, Sport Oregon, Travel Portland, the Oregon Symphony, the Oregon Ballet Theater, and the Portland Opera, all to warn the council of what it called, this is a quote here, deep concerns about the unintended consequences these policies could have on Portland's economy, cultural vitality, and accessibility. They added, especially at a time when we're trying to revitalize certain downtown centers and just increase post-pandemic foot traffic overall. Uber has also stated that they would leave Portland if the policy passed, which is odd because they have not left Seattle. I'm sorry. Look, so I was like, did they leave Seattle? No. Oh, okay. But anyhow, they claim that it's not a negotiating tactic, simply a quote unquote math issue, which I'm like, okay, we all have math issues. So what do you guys think?
Novik, I'm going to need you to drop into the chat and drop some deets, please. I have friends that drive Uber and Lyft. They already qualify for the e-bike rebate. What else do they want? Like, the city, come on. How is this going to shake out? If it shakes out like Seattle, like, what then?
Yeah, less rides for them. No, I mean, no one, we take Ubers. It's already expensive. Like, if I take an Uber from where I live in St. John's to the airport, sometimes that is a $50 ride. And you're just like, God damn. Of course, I am incorporating tip because I tip. But it's expensive. Do you know what I'm saying? It's expensive. So, yeah, I mean, I already think this is expensive. Like, I already think it's an expensive luxury to take these rideshare rides,
Totally.
But do I want them to make more money? Sure.
Yes.
But at what cost? And I mean to them as well. Sure, now
Exactly.
on paper you make more money, but in reality, are you making more money? Is this the best way to do this? But also, what other way is there?
Yeah, I do think that we as a society have agreed on a minimum wage. And while that doesn't officially apply to contractors, it's a good benchmark of when big corporations are exploiting people if these drivers can't make minimum wage. What I saw is that the companies aren't counting the time that drivers are driving around without a ride for their hourly pay, which, it's still work. I'm sure they're not out there having fun just looking for a ride. So that counts as work hours to me. So I'd like to believe we can have economic prosperity without exploitation,
Aww,
the evidence of capitalism
cute.
To the contrary. But yeah, I don't know. The example of Seattle is sobering in a couple of ways. And I think we all have enjoyed the benefits, or a lot of us have enjoyed having an easy ride with Lyft and Uber whenever we want. I don't take it that much, but I certainly have relied on it myself.
Same. Yeah. I will say, though, thought experiment. Sometimes you're just like, well, this is the way things have to be. Like Brianna's like, my friends, this is their livelihood. And it's not like they're fine being exploited, but it's like, this is the job they were able to get, or this is the second or third job they were able to get. And that really helps out. It's these type of contract employment. There is a liberation in it. If you have that extra time, you are able to make a little bit more money. But then it's like, should we live in a world where people are just exploited and we're cool with it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're just like, well, it's cheap for me and they're making a little scratch. Because honestly, if both Uber and Lyft went away and we had to just figure it out amongst ourselves in a better position for labor and for the people in our community, that does sound idealistic and awesome. But again, it's just like, what does that mean for Brianna's friends?
Absolutely.
Does that mean that there are other jobs for them that will give them that kind of freedom to be able to do what they're doing now? Well, do they have other options? Because I don't think that we have such a robust economy that we're going to be able to, because a lot of the people who are driving, a lot of them are immigrants. A lot of them are people who are not able to get work other places. So this is very necessary for them. So I don't know.
It's the point to competing goods. There's important arguments on both sides, including that Portland's economy is in this delicate moment. And I don't think any of these groups would be going out there and saying, let's not pass this policy. I think a lot of these groups have Portland's best interest in mind in their advocacy against this policy.
Yeah.
They need evil counterparts to we need the light and the dark empaths so that people are out here really trying to make a difference. And then the dark empath can come in and say, okay, but actually what's going to happen is the corporation is going to raise the rates and it's going to fuck everyone over.
Yeah.
But we're just coming at it with good and love in our hearts without recognizing the inherent evils of the world that we've created. There's no winning in this.
Exactly. It's how do you want to fuck these drivers over? Do you want to fuck them over with love? Or do you want to fuck them over with corporate greed? Either way, they're going to get fucked over. So,
God.
We have to think about the full picture. And also the fact that Steve Novick was part of the team that allowed Uber to, the reason we're in here is because we allowed this to, you know what I mean? We created this world for them. Pro or anti-Uber, he was part of that team. And now he's just well, what if? I'm that's a conversation that could have been had a lot earlier.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. Stuff just unfolds the way it unfolds. But But yeah, I'm curious what people listening, what do you guys think? It's just so easy to be like, well, fuck Uber and Lyft, you know? When I read the headline.
Until you need one.
I know. I immediately was like, well, fuck them. Pay more. Shut up, Timbers. And then I did the Seattle research and I was like,
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, we're jumping into our mailbag. You've heard enough from us. Let's hear from you. All right, Rachel, what do you got for us?
It's mailbag time, where we get to hear from all you listeners with your hacks and your know-how about our city. So to start us off, we have a deep cut from listener Emily C., who had this to say about yesterday's chat about wildflower hikes. Writing in with a gripe about the podcast. How dare Claudia give a tip about hiking on Dog Mountain without peppering in a hot dog mountain tip callback? Okay, despite my tone, there is a big smiley, grinny emoji at the end of this note. So
well, I'm going to jump in here.
Would you be willing to include a reference to Hot Dog Mountain every time you talk about Dog Mountain for this listener?
Yes, 100%. Also, for those who are like, what is Emily talking about? The first time we ever were like, ooh, Dog Mountain, I think it was John who just, not thinking, was just like, anyhow, Hot Dog Mountain, and just kept calling it Hot Dog Mountain. And we just let it roll. We just let it roll. Because that shit was funny. And it's now become, in our hearts, Hot Dog Mountain. But occasionally we do call it by its government name of Dog Mountain. But it is.
This
Hot
reader
Dog
did not approve.
And I completely get it. I did drop that ball. That is on me.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
Petition to change the name of Dog Mountain officially to Hot Dog Mountain.
Hot Dog Mountain.
Set that shit off on 503 Day. Start the petition.
That's right.
Do it. Hot Dog Mountain. Hot Dog Mountain. So real.
Yeah.
So real.
Okay, so we also got this from an anonymous listener. Our dogs hike with us most every weekend throughout the year. Sorry to hear your dog haters on today, or it's yesterday's episode. Daily listener here. Hope to never meet y'all on the trail.
Okay, I do want to clarify that we said we don't like dogs off leash on trails or bringing dogs on like super narrow trails where there's like drop offs. What's funny is every person on the show yesterday has a dog.
Julia
Julie does not have a dog, but both Brian and Brian has multiple dogs. So to be called a dog hater is pretty funny. We might just hate your dog if it's off leash. On a trail, girl, come on. I'm sorry we hurt your feelings. I still hope we get to meet you, unless it's your dog first, not leashed, running towards my dog on a leash, then I don't want to meet you or your dog. I said it. Come on, you guys. This is basic courtesy. Leash your dogs.
Okay, so another part of yesterday's show was on the closing of grocery outlet in the Park Rose neighborhood and the need for more, not fewer, grocery stores in East Portland. So we got a note from Scott H. from the Centennial neighborhood, who offered to be our East Portland correspondent. I want to officially say thank you, yes. So here's what he had to say. I'm reading an excerpt. It's a bit long, but worth it. Statistically speaking, crime is much higher in this cluster of neighborhoods I live near than most other parts of the city, save for parts of Northwest and downtown. But Park Rose, where grocery outlet is closing, appears to have pretty average or even a low crime area compared with surrounding neighborhoods. When we moved to Centennial in 2016, above average crime didn't mean a lot to us because crime was historically low. We don't feel unsafe in general, but there have been some scary moments. I can't speak for my neighbors, but having attended some community meetings, there's definitely a general concern out there. Some days it is very depressing, feeling like the city has totally ignored everywhere east of 205. I have to say it's not all bad news. Crime is, of course, down everywhere. I'm seeing incremental improvements. I've heard that Mayor Wilson is in regular contact with our Fred Meyer on Southeast Division and 148th. And last year we got a 99 Ranch market at the 205 Plaza. I've even heard a rumor that there may be a new tenant in the works for the former Gateway Freddy's location. We also got a brand new park last year, Park Lane Park. I hope for the best for my District 1 East Portland community, and I'm glad CityCast is bringing attention to the issue. I hope our leaders are listening. In fact, all our city councilors really should be CityCast members like me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott H., particularly for that membership pitch. I think that's really a interesting perspective on what's going on in East Portland.
Oh, yeah.
I used to shop at that grocery outlet, or I guess I still do. It's my most local grocery outlet that I go to. Mm-hmm. And over the years, it has gotten like a little crunchier, a little crustier. But in the last couple of years, they had taped a sign to their door, their entry, that said, "No machetes allowed in the store anymore."
Oh my golly.
And I said, is this the beginning of the end? Well, I can't bring my machete in the grocery outlet? What's wrong with this place?
The
Obviously,
fact that they had to make, was it a homemade sign? Like somebody wrote it? Like
no,
it was
somebody printed it out on a computer.
Oh
Somebody
my God.
typed a Word doc, owned a printer, and then printed it out.
Oh, yeah.
And taped it up.
Oh my God. So here's the deal. I don't know if you guys know about the machete man, but there was a running joke that Portland has the most machete men per capita. It's not one man, it's just men with machetes, because we would have like a Twitter feed that would listen to 911 calls, and the high number of man with machete, like anytime they would tweet out, people would be like, it's machete man. Like it's that guy again, but it's a different guy. But yeah, Portland, for some reason, high machete men. I don't know why.
Wow.
Did you know this, Rachel?
I am vaguely now remembering a string of like crime press release kind of things from police with a machete. Yeah, that was weird.
Somebody hijacked a boxcar full of machetes and then just passed them out. And that's what happened that year.
Oh my God.
I still have mine.
Thanks for clearing up that Portland mystery. Like one mystery cleared up at a time for this weird city.
Oh my God. Any more emails?
Well, I'm going to skip right along to another feature of Portland Weird. We're looking for your tips on this. So bumper stickers. So I have a controversial opinion here, but Portland is the bumper sticker capital of the world, clearly.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
We've rounded up a few of our first favorite bumper stickers on Instagram, if you want to find us there. And we want yours. Like, I'm sure you've seen some weird ones out there, but to share a few of our initial favorites, one we got from a friend of someone who works for CityCast Portland is sorry for driving.
It's so passive, Portland.
Another, I've seen it a few times, is proud parent of a gay car.
I love that.
And
I love it. You know, it's always a Subaru. It's always a Subaru.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I was going to make you guess, but yes, you do.
Oh, no. I mean, sorry, Brianna, what gay car did you think that was? I mean, a close second is a Miata, though no one wants to have that conversation. That car gay.
Oh, Geo Metro, all day.
Geo Metro. Oh, really? Okay, Geo Metro.
3 cylinders. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I didn't know that one. Okay. So, and the last one I was going to share is I got my ears pierced at Plaid Pantry.
I wish that were a reality. That is such a flex.
that we could get our ears pierced at Plaid Pantry.
Oh my
Poor
God.
24/7 workers is like, oh, hold on. I just dealt with all of these like cans that I had to exchange for money. Now I'm going to go pierce your ears. God. I feel so bad. They're always like 17 or like 70. You know what I mean? And you're just like, God damn it. Like, you shouldn't be working no matter what. Like, I just want to hug you. Go home. You know? Anyhow, and it's like 2 a.m. Okay, whatever. I love Plaid Pantry. Can I tell you my two?
Yes.
There's 2 bumper stickers that like have come across. There's one that I see repeatedly and I freaking love it. It's I'd rather be crying to Enya. I just love that sticker so much. And then I just saw one. Mount St. Helens was an inside job. And and I love it. And it has like a fake website, you know, like a total conspiracy, like Mount St. Helens, insidejob.net. It's so ridiculous.
I saw one the other day. I was driving behind a Prius and they had stickers around the word Prius on the back of the car, and it said, "It's that pre-espresso." Like, it's that me espresso. It's that pre-espresso. And I thought that shit was brilliant. But then I saw the one the next day that I thought was even more brilliant. It said, "Please let me merge. My mom's dead."
That would work on me 100%. I'd be like, look.
I need it.
We were zipper merging, but I'll just let you go. Jesus.
Oh, that one's kind of painful funny.
But yeah, send us your stickers. Send us your bumper sticker pictures over at portland@citycast.fm. We'll share them on our social for everyone to enjoy. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, share it with a friend. Review it. Give us a good review. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Portland neighbor. Again, just visit membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's or Hot Dog Mountain.